just fine, I was just looking for areas that were savings in the current year.
And our sales tax is up how much?
Went down, it's up 5%.
It was a little over 5%.
March was down, but yeah, it's
February is up 7.5%, correct?
yeah, but March was down. But that still leaves, there's still about, I mean, currently, based on March, there's about $112,000 extra in the general fund from sales tax. Now that could, it could trend downward, it could trend upward.
We budget flat. Whatever our sales tax was in the previous year, that's what we project for the following year. That's just a common practice. You don't want to budget for increases that you don't know will be there. So that's what we budget. Whatever we had last year, we budget those dollars coming in. Right now, we're running a little ahead of last year. Every month we get an update, and it's compared to the same month the previous year. So we are ahead. We are nowhere near as far ahead as we were a year ago, year over year. It has trended down for the last 2 or 3 years, but we're still ahead of what we had budgeted. So those are dollars that, depending on how we end the fiscal year, could be available. Any other comments by the board?
So we're doing this across the board, not in closed session anymore, correct? That was originally on Thursday, it was decided to be enclosed. Now we're doing it in open? Question mark?
Part of the reason why Alderman Jones asked to move this to closed session so that could be explained to the board.
Yes, we have a motion and a second on the floor for item D.
And our chief of police is being left out of the race, correct?
Chief, correct me if I'm wrong, this is for the folks in your department. You've asked for the officers in your department, correct?
Yeah, it's for my officers, not for me. I made it very clear 3 years ago when we started a lot of that stuff.
The other issue is that we have appointed officers that are, Chief being one of them, Tanya, Linda, basically the department heads who are appointed officers. There are certain things that need to be done at budget time rather than in the middle of the year. So once again, if you guys want to go any further in it, I need to discuss it with you in closed session so that I can further explain it. Otherwise, I can't do it right now.
That was our initial response last Thursday, and somewhere between last Thursday and today, somebody above has changed that because it wasn't the members of the board.
Once again, this is one of the reasons why I asked for someone to move so that we could go into closed session and I could have a discussion with you all about it. If you all want to not vote on this and go ahead and move forward with a motion and a second to table this until after closed session so that more information can be provided, that's one thing. But as it sits right now in public session, there's certain attorney-client privilege information that I cannot divulge in open session.
So would they have to withdraw their?
If they want to withdraw, that would be one direction that it could go. If you guys want to vote on it, then you vote on it.
I guess I'm confused here because the way I understood it was we were voting for the police department as a whole across the board, not each individual. We don't have to bring up each individual.
That is correct.
That is correct.
The last Thursday was supposed to be enclosed per individual. Since Thursday to today, it's changed.
But for some reason, it was discriminatory to do it that way. Correct.
I can make no direction one way or the other.
We cannot discuss that. We have to deal with the item that's on the floor presently.
closed session and then come back out and to see what Jesse has to say.
How does that work? We have a motion
We got a
and a
motion.
second.
We have a motion and a second on the floor. We're gonna have to call the roll, or
They either call it, you vote for it, or if they're gonna withdraw, and then somebody wants to put a new motion on the floor.
call the roll, please.
Alderman Dooner,
Yes.
Alderman Dieter,
Yes.
Alderman Norman,
Yes.
Alderman Horner,
Yes.
Alderman Jones.
No.
Item E, discuss and approve pay increase for building department personnel as requested by building official David Lindsay. Can I get a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Once again, this is, again, issue that if
You have to make the decision now whether you're going to take action in open or not.
as it is set right now, would not recommend making the motion until after we have a discussion. That's up to you all to make.
Make that motion again, we go into closed session.
We need to table it until after
Okay,
closed
we'll
session.
go after close. D through, now it's E through J.
I believe it's E through J, correct?
Yes.
That's what I said, yeah, E through J.
I'll second that.
Using that word.
Okay.
Alderman Norman seconded it. Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Alderman Jones,
Yes.
Alderman Norman,
Yes.
Alderman Dooner,
Yes.
Alderman Dieter.
Yeah.
Alderman Horner,
Yes.
motion carries.
Okay, that brings us to item K. Discuss and appoint alderman to develop policy and direction relating to $2,000 incentive for one-year employment contract.
I will volunteer to sponsor this. We talked about it last Thursday. I would like it to be citywide. I would like it to come out of the ARPA funds, and I would like it to be for all city employees.
Anybody else have anything on that?
Is it, I would like to increase that amount if we could, because like, as we were discussing last Thursday, that after the taxes and everything, you wouldn't get that $2,000. So if there was an increase to $2,500 or whatever, to where after taxes, you had that $2,000 and then a little.
So I would
If
like
we don't
to,
use the money, we're gonna lose it, so.
I would like to look at $4,000 for 2 years, and they would get $1,000 every 6 months. And then it would keep them here for hopefully 2 years of that across the board for all city employees.
Anybody else? Okay, so we have an aldermanic sponsor for the new policy. You got enough direction on that? Thank you. Item L, discuss and appoint alderman to revise take-home vehicle policy relating to officers taking assigned vehicles home on work days.
I will also volunteer to sponsor that one. We talked about the fleet of Troy PD not potentially being big enough to take home for everybody, so I would like to at least have this be permanent to take home cars for sergeant and above, and then officers on patrol potentially being for during their shift.
I'll co-sponsor that.
Perfect.
Any other discussion relating to that item? Got enough direction? Okay, we have two aldermanic sponsors for that item. That leads us to closed session. I'll take a motion to go into closed session for legal and personnel.
I'll make that motion.
One second.
Alderman Jones,
Yes.
Alderman Norman.
Yes.
Alderman Carter,
Yes.
Alderman Dieter.
Yeah.
Alderman Daniel.
Yes.
Okay, we're gonna go into closed session. Please be patient. We'll try to make it as quick as possible.
To the blackest